Hello everyone and welcome back guys to a brand new video where today we're here finally back with our F1 2021 Portuguese Grand Prix Fantasy review. Yes, I know it's a little bit late, F1 Fantasy. I've tried to record this video twice already this week and both times F1 Fantasy has gone down about halfway through. If only I knew the reasons why. I don't genuinely understand how they can have so many issues with a website that surely is quite simple to run, I'd like to think. But yeah, we are finally back though today with our review from the Portuguese Grand Prix. If you guys missed out the podcast we did with Jamie a couple of days ago, I would definitely recommend going back and checking it out. Of course, that is the place where we really sort of get into the weekend and sort of discuss everything that went on over the course of the weekend, as well as if you missed out on the video that went live earlier on of where we played a new game GT Manager, I would definitely recommend going and checking out that video as well. That was a whole lot of fun to make as well. So obviously, yeah, plenty of content going on around the channel at the moment. We've got so many things happening. Once again, you know, for those of you guys that only watch the F1 Fantasy videos, a massive thank you for helping me hit 14,000 subscribers. I know I'm basically saying it in every video at the moment, but we're doing a lot of different things, so, you know, a massive, yeah, again, just thank you for the continued support on the channel. Obviously, if you aren't already, make sure you get yourself subscribed as well. We're trying to hit 15k now. I think we're less than 800 away from that now at the time of recording this. We've really smashed through 14k, and hopefully you're going to get towards 15k as we get in towards the nitty-gritty of the real-life Formula 1 season as well. But yeah, having a look then at the Portuguese Grand Prix. 163 points. Another solid weekend for us, if I do say so myself. Lando Norris and Lewis Hamilton, of course, coming in clutch as well as McLaren. Between those three, we scored 143 of our 163 points there. You know, our three big hitters so far that have come in clutch in the early races of the year. Gasly, another 10 points. I think it was 10th place for him at the end of the day. They're a fairly quiet showing from Pierre. I'm going to talk more and more as we get into this video about what we're going to do with our remaining three drivers there. But yeah, Gasly, another solid result. It was the right time to swap Giovinazzi in as well. He had quite a quietly decent weekend, I want to say. Obviously, P12 at the end of qualifying there, and unlike George Russell, who we used to have in the team, obviously Giovinazzi was able to sort of maintain that level throughout a lot of the race as well, though. So I was really pleasantly surprised to see that over the course of the race as well. And then, of course, Carlos Sainz, kind of the only driver from our team that did really get screwed there. Obviously, Ferrari left him out way too long on his tyres towards the end. You know, I think they pitted him far too early, didn't they? And then he was just hung out to dry and just went backwards towards the end of the Grand Prix there. But no negative points. So I will take that very happily indeed as well. So you can see in terms of how well it went overall, obviously better than week one, mainly because we turboed Gasly when he pretty much screwed us. Not quite as good as the Italian Grand Prix, obviously the Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix last time out. Obviously Lando coming massively in clutch there with 68 points. And then again, obviously Carlos Sainz had a weirdly good weekend. I know we discussed it at the time about how on earth Sainz walked away with 23 points with how many issues he had early on. I will never quite understand there. Despite that being the only week we've had a negative point score so far, with George Russell obviously minus 11 points there. But yeah, like I said though, Hamilton, Norris both coming in clutch as well as McLaren once again. Obviously, I'm pretty certain those three are going to be sticking with throughout the entirety of the year. They are putting in good points early on. Hamilton versus Verstappen, I think it's a fairly safe bet. Obviously, I mean, you want one of them in your team either way. But yeah, obviously still very happy with that. So, having a look then overall at the leagues. What have we got going on in terms of, like, but let's have a quick look then. What was the best scoring team from last week? It would have been, if we can have a look, leaderboard. How can we just filter down into last week? I'm not sure. Oh, here we go. I can remember how to use this website. So, Portugal then. Obviously, Mega Driver, 281 points. For the Portuguese Grand Prix there. So you can see Hamilton as your Mega, Lando as your Turbo, pretty much again, obviously what you expect. And then we had Sergio Perez picking up some good points for Red Bull there. Mick Schumacher as well, he had a decent weekend in the end, obviously able to overtake Nicolas Latifi towards the end of the Grand Prix. And then Esteban Ocon as well, 18 points on the board for him and Alpine there. And of course McLaren once again. Obviously, we're not using our Mega Driver just yet. Like I've said, sort of my main plan throughout the entirety of the year is sort of just wait so we know what's going on with Red Bull and Mercedes. You know, I don't want to waste that Mega Driver. And then when we got a weekend where we know one of them should be comfortably better than the rest, then obviously we're going to use it there. Hopefully it's not going to screw us. We'll wait and see about that. Obviously, when one or the other comes out with a huge surprise there. You know, basically, it's highly likely I'm just going to be looking for a weekend, obviously, where Hamilton does really well. So hopefully, fingers crossed, we can get that at some point over the course of the year. And obviously, get him sorted, pick up, as you can see, like 129 points or something like that, and then be right up towards the front of the field once again. But yeah, having a look, though, of course, at the Matt212 League then. Where did we finish? We're up to 362 members. Obviously, if you guys haven't already, join the league. Get yourself involved. Still, we're trying to hit 400 members in the league at the moment there. And yeah, but it's slowly but surely closing in on that as well. There is the code FDFEF4AA40. Get in. It's linked down in the description below if you aren't already involved there. And you can see still at the top, though, of your field is Karan A there. It's Sir Hamilton and the lads. There you can see he's had 265 points, obviously, with his Mega Driver. Another brilliant result at Imola as well there. Actually, nothing crazy so far. I mean, obviously, second at Imola because he used his Mega Driver. Second at Bahrain, even I should say. 19th at Imola, and then 17th at Portugal. I don't think, obviously, this week was particularly high scoring, obviously, where you had all the front runners, both Mercs and both Mercedes, right at the front of the field there. There wasn't much option to really sort of gain big points this weekend. There you can see Karan, though. He has got Hamilton, Norris, Gasly, like myself. He has got Charles Leclerc, though, instead of Carlos Sainz, and then Mick Schumacher as well, who, again, like we said, did score some good points there as well for Haas and, of course, McLaren as well there. His team's now got a value of 101.3 million, so he's really judged that nicely. Obviously, as Lando Norris's value continues to rise over the course of the season there. But yeah, 663 points for Karan A so far this year. Let's see who did best last week then. That was A-Team by Struan C there, 256 points for him. So he megaed Max Verstappen there. That must be a little bit heartbreaking. I'm sure he's expecting a dominant weekend from him. Also turboed Charles Leclerc there, so he's mega drivered like the second best person he could have. He's also turbo drivered the second best person he could have. But again, he's got a lot of good points with Red Bull, so that I can sort of understand. He's trying to save money elsewhere to try and get a better team in for the constructors. That's a good strategy by him. Maybe a little bit too much Red Bull hype. Again, obviously, we discussed in the video we did with Jamie as to whether sort of Red Bull have still got what it takes over the course of the year. Very, very early days, I'm well aware, but still. And then, of course, Lando, once again, Mick Schumacher in there, and Lance Stroll. Haven't seen much of him over the course of the Fantasy League so far. I'm sure he's hopefully going to get a couple of really good results over the course of the year where he comes in clutch for a few people there. You can see Ankit Team 1 came through for P2 there. Charles, Verstappen, Gasly, Norris, Red Bull and Russell this time round, rather than Mick Schumacher there. So another interesting choice. Tailored Racing 250 as well. Very different lineup though. He's got both Red Bulls, Sainz, Norris, McLaren and Esteban Ocon. And he's already used his wildcard, interestingly. So that's interesting to see from him. Getting there, Lewis was in P4 there. You can see Hamilton is Mega Driver. There's some big hitters. And then, of course, Perez, Norris. Perez, actually. I don't know why I thought that was so normal. That is an interesting one. He's losing a lot of points with AlphaTauri, though. You probably might want to swap one of your drivers out there for someone a bit cheaper and try and get a better team. So it was Lucy W who picked up the most points without using a Mega Driver there. More than Craig, who did use his. That must be a little bit gutting for him. But yeah, Verstappen, Leclerc, Perez, Lando Norris, McLaren and Schumacher. So yeah, they've gone with an interesting strategy, of course, of not really having a huge... I guess Verstappen's quite a big name, but he's managed to squeeze both Red Bulls in there and McLaren and Lando Norris there, as well as Charles Leclerc. So that's a really good team that Lucy's been able to do there. Fair play to them. Marcel F right behind them. Bottas, Norris, Verstappen, Schumacher, Russell, Red Bull. So again, you know, they've really tried to save some money elsewhere and have gone with Red Bull as your constructor as well. It's a gamble that's paid off this weekend, so fair play to you. Let's see Craig then. Who did he Mega Driver? Oh, Craig, man. Craig. Why did you Mega Driver Bottas? It was always a gamble that surely was unlikely to pay off, unfortunately, at the end of the day there. But yeah, I mean, Perez as well, Lando Norris Turbo, you can't go wrong with him at the moment. He's just such good value for money as well. And you can see it rounding at your top 10 from last week was Ryan's Lotto team. Whether that was just a completely random team, he's got both Red Bulls and the team, as well as Lando Norris Turbo and then Russell and Ocon to try and save himself some money as well there. Let's have a look overall then. Unfortunately, you can't see any sort of major swaps or anything like that in the league so far, but it is still Karan at the top, Hugo P2 and then Amog in P3 there. Rob H, Ollie, Struan, Bobby L, Gethin, Joshua and Dylan rounding out your top 10 as well, obviously, at the end of week 3. So congratulations to all you guys that so far are doing really, really well early on this year. Obviously, let me know how well the rest of you are performing down in the comments below. Obviously, ready for the next video. Obviously, I'm going to try and shout more of you guys out over the course of the series. There you can see, is he the top guy with still his Mega Driver intact? Yes, he is. Connor C has still got his Mega Driver in play. He's got Hamilton, Norris, Leclerc, Gasly, so very, very similar to me again. Obviously, Schumacher instead and McLaren. So fair play to him. He's looking very, very comfortable. I mean, if he gets a big score with Hamilton, say, for example, he gets another 80 points, he's going to be right up there at the top of your field as well. So fair play to Connor C as well. They're 2 points clear of Dorotia. I'm always butchering these names. I apologise profusely to everyone that, yeah, I'm just ruining your names there as well. Where are we then currently in the league? I think we're like 140th, I want to say. Yeah, 143rd. There we are on 486 points. You can see I've got a lot of close people around us there. You know, every week big point swings can happen there. So hopefully my aim by the end of the year is top 100, I want to say. We might be able to get a little bit higher. Of course, once we've used the Mega Driver and things like that, we should have a rough idea of where we're at right towards the end of the year there. You can see we're actually beating one of Amog's other teams as well there. I think he's used all his Mega Drivers already, I think on all of his teams there. We're ahead of a couple of people that have used their Mega Drivers, so I'm rather happy with that as well there. But in terms of looking towards the Spanish Grand Prix though, in terms of the team, I'm considering making some changes, I'll be honest, and that is, I say that, and I'm thinking, Alfa Romeo are looking alright at the moment. I think Giovinazzi there. Can I swap Sainz out for someone? That's what I want to know. Let's go back to Spain. Can I get Carlos Sainz out for someone better? 14.4 million. So we've got 15 million left in the tank. We could get Alonso. Actually, no, what I was thinking, was Pierre Gasly. Now, AlphaTauri, we sort of saw them last weekend. You know, they haven't really been particularly... I mean, the first 2 Grand Prix, they had a very, very quick car. But I think now they're sort of saying, you know, maybe Alpine have got the better of them. So I'm wondering whether we change up a couple of our drivers there. Obviously, we've already got Lando Norris in the team. He's still only 13.8 million. That is an absolute steal for Lando Norris at this stage of the season. If you haven't got Lando, what on earth are you doing? I don't want to get too much onto Esteban Ocon hype early on this year, but I'm just thinking Spain next weekend, maybe he'll have a good race. Maybe Alonso's worth a gamble for his home Grand Prix there as well. So we're going to go with Ocon. We've still then got 16.6 million. I'd love to be able to stretch to Charles Leclerc, get him in the roster there. Perez might not actually be a bad shout for 18.3 million. If I got rid of Giovinazzi, can I stretch? Who could I get right at the rear of the field there? I could put Mick Schumacher in. I'm tempted to shake it up and go with those guys there. We can't get George Russell anymore. Latifi's better to go with anyway because he can't qualify and then generally moves up the order there. Yuki Tsunoda's quite cheap as well, but again, I don't have much faith in Alfa Romeo at this stage of the year there. So we're going to go with Mick Schumacher and get him in the team there. I don't know if that's going to constitute our wild card. You can see there, obviously, we've kept Lando, we've kept Hamilton, like I said, obviously sort of the big 2 hitters, and then, of course, McLaren as well there. But hopefully Perez is going to be a bit more consistent now. Now he's starting to get to grips with the car. Hopefully Ocon as well is doing really, really well in that Alpine, and then hopefully Mick Schumacher as well is finding a bit more pace in the Haas car. We're sort of basing it on qualifying and things like that, and you can see we've got the team up now to over 100 million as well. You're making 3 substitutions to your team, leaving you with a subs bank of 3 substitutions remaining this race week. That's absolutely fine with me. So we are rolling with that. But yeah, there we go then. Team sorted, ready for the Spanish Grand Prix this weekend. Looking forward to it. Might be a bit strong, but of course, hoping that we can score more big points with the team nonetheless. Like I said though, let me know how well you guys are doing down in the comments below. A bit of an apology, obviously, again, that this video is coming out so late. But yeah, a lot of exciting stuff going on at the moment over the course of the channel. But thank you all so much for watching. If you have enjoyed, do make sure you leave a like, get yourself subscribed, and yeah, we'll be back next time out ready for the review of the Spanish Grand Prix. A big thank you to our channel members for making these videos possible. You can be featured in these end clips as well as granted access to some other exclusive perks for just £1 a month by clicking the join button below.